We're going to call tonight's meeting to order. Would you please rise and stand and join me in the flag salute? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. All right, next item on the agenda, we're going to move into public input. And just in case there's anybody here that wants to comment on the budget, we are going to have a separate public hearing for the budget. So if you have any other item that needs to be discussed in public input, please come forward this time.
Mayor, Commissioners, I'd like to introduce Doug Fisher, the new general manager of the Kansas Crossing Casino and Hotel. Doug, it's open mic night, whatever you want to say.
I got a 20-minute hunk I can do. But, thank you for having me today, and we're looking forward to opening up a casino you guys are going to be proud of. So thank you.
Thank you
for
for
being
coming.
here.
My pleasure.
Thank you very much for all your work.
Thank you.
Any other items for public input? All right, seeing none, we're going to go ahead and move on to the consent agenda. Any items to be removed?
There are none. I move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. Roll call vote.
Gray,
Aye.
Johnson,
Aye.
Mansell,
Aye.
Mernan.
Aye.
All right, motion carries. Going to move on to the next item, which is public hearing. Proposed 2017 budget. The City of Pittsburgh advertised for a public hearing to be held on August 9th, 2016 at the City Commission meeting. Commencing at 5:30 p.m. in the City Commission room, located in the Law Enforcement Center, 201 North Pine, for the purpose of hearing and answering questions related to the proposed 2017 budget. Jamie, any comments? Do we need to open? Well, I didn't know if you had any comments before we needed to.
No, just, I mean,
Okay, go ahead. Open for public hearing. Anybody here that would like to address the 2017 proposed budget? All right, seeing none, we'll close the public hearing. Any other comments? Questions from the peanut gallery?
There are none. I move to approve the budget.
All right, it's been moved. I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. All votes in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against?
Sorry. Threw us out of order there
All
for a
right,
minute.
motion carries.
Mr. President, Commissioners, please sign the document before you leave tonight, the state certificate on the budget.
You need that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Thank you.
We will
After
do
you
that.
did all the work. We'll do it.
We will get it signed.
good job, Jamie.
All right, yes, thank you to, once again, to Jamie, Darren, and staff for all the hard work that you put into that. All right, consider the following next item, Kindle Packaging expansion. Consider the request submitted by Kindle Packaging for a loan from the city's Community Development Block Grant CDBG loan, revolving loan fund, in the amount of $360,000 to be repaid over 7 years at 1% interest to help finance an expansion to their facility located in the Northeast Industrial Park. Blake.
All right, thank you, Mr. President, members of the Commission. I'm proud to bring you a project tonight that we've worked on for well over 3 years. This is a significant expansion of Kindle Packaging. Kindle has been located in the Northeast Industrial Park here in Pittsburgh for almost 30 years. They have continued to grow over those times. We've had the opportunity to work with them in the past to utilize CDBG funds. Those are Community Development Block Grant funds. We'll talk in just a moment about the particulars of the recommendation from the EDAC, but I want to be very clear that the funds that we're talking about tonight and the loan we're discussing is from the CDBG fund. That's separate from the city's traditional revolving loan fund. These were funds that were handed down to the city by the state back in 1986, and they have been used for a variety of projects since '86. Most recently, to Kindle Packaging. They were a partner on a CDBG loan back in 2009, a $351,000 loan that they repaid, very similar terms to the ones we're proposing to you tonight. They have almost repaid that, so they are eligible for a new round of CDBG funds to support this expansion. But I want to ask Jack Trossel, he's the local plant manager, to come up and give you some details about the project, then we'll talk about the recommendation from the EDAC.
Okay.
Go ahead, Jack.
Thanks, Blake. Mr. President, Commissioners, thank you for the opportunity to speak with you this evening.
Works.
Okay.
Good evening.
Just a couple of minutes on Kendall Packaging, if I might. Kendall's been around since the 1940s. It's based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. A gentleman by the name of Fred Kendall started the business. We're in food packaging. We print and laminate and slit food packaging. In the early 70s, the family of Eric Erickson purchased the company from Fred Kendall, and it's been a privately owned business since then. And as Blake mentioned, we built a plant here in 1987 here in Pittsburgh. We have a plant in Wisconsin, and our headquarters is just north of Milwaukee. So it's a two-plant, pretty small company, 155 people. We're excited about how things have gone at Kendall Packaging. We've had excellent growth. We've grown on average 10% a year in our sales over the last 4 years. We actually expanded our plant up in Wisconsin in 2013, and what we're excited to do here in Pittsburgh is to do a very similar expansion to our plant here in Pittsburgh as we did up in Wisconsin a few years ago. And the reason we need to expand is because we're growing so well, we need the capacity. We currently have a 35,000 square foot facility here we're busting at the seams. We need more space, and that's really what we intend to do. And the reason that we need the capacity is because we're doing a great job with our customers. Our business is doing well. We want to make sure that we continue to satisfy our customers by having the capacity to meet our demand. We got a lot of new products and a lot of exciting things going on with our company. So what I'm going to share with you this evening is kind of the first phase. We see this kind of a two-phase project, and I'll explain the first phase right now. It includes expansion of our manufacturing and warehousing and office space. So we're going to add a little over 61,000 square foot on top of the 35,000 square feet that we have right now. With that space, we'll be able to add more equipment. We'll add a printing press, a laminator, and a slitter. Those are our three major types of production equipment. We're actually going to move some equipment around as well to get better material flow through the plant. And for this first phase of operation, the first phase of expansion, we expect to add 15 employees, production operators, material handlers, maintenance, and quality control type of folks. From a cost standpoint, we're still working on refining these numbers. I actually just met with the builder this afternoon, so that first number is a real accurate number. It came in around 2.8 as we expected for the building, the construction piece, and about $6 million for the equipment. So the total project is $8 million. From a timing standpoint, this is probably the fastest we can execute the project. We like to be able to break ground in September. And then we'll take occupancy of the building August of next year. We'll have our equipment that we're purchasing arrive at about the same time. We'll move some equipment around. We'll start our hiring process. It'll be staggered, our hiring, probably even as early as later this year into next year. We're all targeted towards having September 2017 up and running with all of our new equipment and the equipment that we relocated, kind of a grand opening type of event. Some of the features, highlights, as I mentioned, we're going to be moving stuff around, so we'll have better material flow, which is going to improve the safety in our plant, more space to work with, reduce the risk of safety incidents, which is great. Obviously, we're buying brand new equipment, so we're going to have the latest technologies that are out there on printing plastic film, laminating two films together, and slitting material. We're going to have a lot of natural lighting in our new warehouse manufacturing facility. We're also building a new office complex. If you happen to be by our plant, it's not overly impressive from the outside. So we're going to add a pretty large 8,000 square foot office complex off the front of the plant. It'll look very nice. It'll look very nice pulling up. Plus, it gives us the space that we need. Included in that office complex is a fitness center. We have a very strong wellness program that's very important to the health of our employees and very important to Kendall Packaging. So we are constructing a pretty large fitness center with locker rooms and showers. It'll be on site and also be open to the immediate family members of our employees, so they can access that whenever the plant's open. We'll have a kind of a separate entrance into the fitness center, so we're excited about that. We're going to add more break rooms, more conference rooms, more offices. We're also going to expand the parking. And when we do this expansion, we're basically going to take advantage of the entire 5.3 acres that we have there on that site. So this will be it. When we build this is about as far as we'll be able to go. We'll tap out on our available space on the property. However, I did mention kind of a multi-phase. Phase two, because we're building the building so large, we'll have space inside those buildings to add more equipment in the future. And that's our full intent, is to build the plant full out. So at some point, we hope sooner rather than later, we'll add another printing press, another laminator, and another slitter, in the existing structure. And that'll be it. We won't be able to go any further than that. So when that time comes, we expect another 15 to 20 employees to be hired on. So right now, we're about 50. We'll get to 65 with phase one. We'll be up to 80, 85, in the not too distant future. Just a real quick on the plant layout. Not sure there's a laser here, but what's in the white there is our current plant, the 35,000 square foot. You'll see the office complex out front, and then the large 48,000 square foot building we're building out to the west side of our plant. We're going to expand our ink room, do some things around our maintenance shop, and then add equipment and move equipment and add parking. So that's kind of what the layout looks like. Also included some pictures if you're interested in what our equipment looks like. This is very likely to be the printing press. It's actually made by a company in Germany. I'm actually heading over there in a few weeks to put the order for the press. This is what a laminator looks like. So after we print the film, we laminate two webs together. And that's what the slitter is. So we take bigger rolls and make smaller rolls out of them that our customers can handle. So it's a great project. Our folks are really excited about it. As Blake mentioned, we've been kind of talking about this for a while here. We're at the point now where we like to go forward, and we appreciate your guys' support and the project with the funds.
Out of curiosity, who are your customers?
We do a lot of private labels. So, if you go into Walmart, we do a lot of wet wipes and baby wipes for a company called Rockline, who's based in Arkansas. You probably don't know Rockline, but if you go to Walmart and you pick up wet wipes, baby wipes, the Parents' Choice, Equate, it's a big part of our business. It's a big part of our plant's volume as well, is that. But food packaging, chips, Tortilla King, I just mentioned to Blake, we did some business for Brock's. We just shipped some film down to Mexico last week for their candies and Easter eggs and things like that. Hostess is another customer for us. We do all their mini muffins.
So you do the packaging?
We do the
You
packaging.
send it to them and then they
put the
package
product
it?
in, yeah.
I see.
Yeah.
Thank you for
Okay.
explaining that.
Thank you for the explanation
very
and the
good
pictures. That was
information.
very good to have. So the overall total, this dollar amount is only a very small
Yep.
chunk of the overall cost of what you guys are investing.
Yeah.
Yep.
And I want to be sure to thank Jack. Kendall Packaging could have done this expansion at their Wisconsin facility, but I think Jack has really been a local champion for having that work done here in Pittsburgh. So I want to be sure to thank him for the work that he's done to get this done at the Pittsburgh plant.
I failed to mention as well, we're using a local builder, Tri-State Builders, to do the construction. So, great group of folks over there. So we're excited to work with them.
So, Mr. President, thank you very much, Jack. Mr. President, members of the commission, the recommendation from the EDAC would be a $360,000 loan from the Community Development Block Grant Revolving Loan Fund. That's about what we have available to disperse, repaid over 7 years at 1% interest, which is very similar to the lease or the terms that were a part of the Kendall loan back from 2009. And I think Jamie could verify that Kendall was always very timely in their repayment, and so there's no concern at all about the repayment coming in a timely fashion. The company will likely, as a matter of fact, just got the application today, also request an industrial revenue bond. Those take a little longer to prepare, so we'll likely be bringing that to you for consideration in September. But we wanted to go ahead and take care of the CDBG loan request so that the company could proceed with the expansion.
I didn't have any other questions or comments beyond the materials that we were provided. Anybody else?
I don't have any. If there's none, I would move to approve this recommendation.
Second it?
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carries.
Very much.
Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you.
Thank you for your presentation as well. Next item, resolution number 1183. Consider approval of resolution number 1183, providing for the reconstruction and improvement of a portion of South Rouse Street in Pittsburg, Kansas, from a point approximately 120 feet south of the Centennial Avenue and South Rouse Street intersection, south on Rouse Street approximately 4,500 feet to the Pittsburgh city limits. Go ahead.
Thank you, President and Commissioners. Looking to proceed with the, move forward so we can get the construction dollars wrapped up on this. We're in the process of design right now. We're probably just a week or two away from having a set of field check plans. That's where KDOT can come out in the field with the set of plans and see the construction project as it's laid out. We're also working on the stormwater calculations. Since we're eliminating all the ditches through that area, that's going to be one of the critical things in getting that done. And the other key thing that we're working on right now is trying to figure out the best traffic control plan, the phasing plan, so that we can maintain access to everyone during the construction of that.
Okay.
Can I put you on the spot?
Sure.
I keep getting asked this and I can't answer it, and I never think about it. Just preliminary way out, what is the traffic? What would the traffic plan possibly look like? Because everybody tells me there's no way in here and there's no way out.
If you were to look at that site and consider the ditches the way they are right now, I would agree that it appears that there's no way out of that. But what we're looking at doing, what they're evaluating right now is going in, putting in the storm sewer initially. Then that way we have that space where the ditches are right now to be able to use as access. On the west side of the roadway where the trail's going to go, if we go ahead and dig that down, put the rock base in, we could put a lane of traffic there, lane of traffic on the westernmost lanes there, and then build the other half of the roadway. Get that built, get that cured out in service, then you can move the traffic from that west side onto the constructed east side, 2 lanes. Then you can build the other lane and then the trail. So that's what we're trying to figure out, the best way to get that work, make sure we've got the space and traffic flow and are able to make that work.
So what you're saying there is the trail would probably be one of the latter components of the overall project.
Right, of the
So we're looking
phasing
at
of it.
next summer for the trail.
We're looking at trying to do this all in 1 year. So we would start construction as early as possible next year, and our goal is to try and get it done in 1 year so that the residents there only have to put up with 1 construction season. Again, kind of depending on weather and everything else, that'll play a large role into what we're able to accomplish, but that is what our goal is setting out.
Okay. To Darren's point in your explanation, I've had questions about that same thing. So just please make sure as we move forward to try to make sure that the residents there are informed of the timeline so that they're not, I mean, a lot of that anxiety associated with what's happening and when and how's it going to take place. I think we can take care of a lot of that by just making sure that we keep people informed. And I know you guys will. I just wanted to make sure that, because I know you had received that same question.
Right, and it sounds like you're gonna do the access on both sides before you even start the road in the middle, so there will be ways in and out.
Yeah, there'll be ways in and out of every single street or every single subdivision. If there's 2 streets into a subdivision, we'll likely channel them to one of them and be able to fully construct and shorten down the timeline on that. But some of the streets I know are a single street subdivision, and we're looking at how can we get traffic in and out while we build that, probably that intersection 1 half at a time. But like I say, once we get the field check and get those phasing plans together, definitely would be willing to provide you what the update is on those.
Great. Any other?
Nope, I'd move to approve.
I'll second.
All right, it's been moved and seconded. All votes in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Against? Motion carries.
Thanks, Cameron.
Next one is probably you as well. Resolution number 1184. Consider approval of resolution number 1184 declaring the necessity for and authorizing the construction of certain repairs and improvements to the Atkinson Municipal Airport of the City of Pittsburg, Crawford County, Kansas, and the payment of part of the cost thereof under the authority of Charter Ordinance number 25 of the City of Pittsburg, Kansas.
All right, what we're looking at here is just being able to bond out the city's portion of the construction projects, or the total project, includes the design as well. Right now, as of tomorrow, they'll start the milling on the mill and overlay project out at the airport. We've been in communication with all the users out there. That schedule had been updated. Originally, we planned on starting work on Monday. The milling machine was not able to make that schedule. We let everyone know last Thursday. So right now, the main runway will be out of service. Even though they slid 2 days from the start, they still had the same completion date in mind, the 30th of this month. They'd reopen the main runway on the 31st. And right now, for the crosswind runway, we're looking at either the 11th or the 12th. We'll see how their work progresses. But they would close that crosswind runway at that time until the 18th. So you're looking 7 to 8 day closure total of the airport. And then that crosswind runway would be back open on 19th. It would remain open through the remainder of the project, with the exception of just a brief period where they go in and do the final striping once everything's been paved. And any questions on the extension? Right now, we're waiting to get the grant agreement from the FAA. And talking with them, they expect that to come out here in August. And when that comes in, we'll present it to you as well. That's the other project that's being asked to be funded through the bonding.
And refresh me, those were 90-10s?
Correct.
Okay. All right.
No further questions, I move to approve.
I'll second. It's been moved and seconded. All votes in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. Thank you, sir.
Thanks,
Appreciate it.
Cameron.
Good job, Cameron.
I believe that's the last item on the agenda. We're removing the last three for,
Hold for 2 weeks.
yep, we're gonna hold those for the following meeting, 1185, 1186, and 1187. Any non-agenda reports and requests?
I just wanted to mention briefly it's been about a month since the events in Dallas. We have daily, literally every day, it seems like somebody in the community has stepped up and supported not only our law enforcement officers, but law enforcement officers at Pitt State, in the county, and all the incorporated cities and non-incorporated cities in the county. I just wanted to bring it to your attention. Another very large, significant event was today. They created, I don't know how many businesses went together and created what was known as a date night. It was about a $5,000 value, and they gave most of the officers and their spouses or significant others a date night out with tickets to a movie. The list was so long when the person was reading it, I couldn't keep track, but it was all donations. I just wanted to make sure the community understood that, reciprocated, that we appreciate that. It's hard to tell the officers how much we appreciate them. We do it on a regular basis, but very interesting times that we're in right now, and to live in a community that gets it, and just out of their goodness of their own heart, really just stepped up and continues to do nice things on behalf of everybody in the police department. I just wanted to say thanks to the city of Pittsburgh, everybody that's in it and everything, because it does make a difference. It really does.
And I'll just say from personal experience, I've been able to do ride-alongs in the past, and I don't think a lot of people realize what our officers do on a regular basis from shift to shift. And I would just encourage people to interact with the police officers. When you're out and about, talk to them, ask them questions. We were at the softball fields one night, and Quentin was out there, and he was showing some kids equipment and talking about things. And so those types of things, our police officers do that on a daily basis. And I also see pictures on Instagram or Facebook and Twitter, and you guys post things about what officers do and people that come in and bring baked goods and stuff. So I'd encourage people to just follow that and talk to our officers and understand what they do, because we very much appreciate it. Any other comments, questions, anything else?
That's all we have.
All right. I think if there's nothing else, any motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second.
Moved and second to adjourn. All votes in favor?
Aye.
Against? Motion carries. We are adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.